Hey everyone, welcome. It's saying live video is starting, so it's not telling me that I'm live yet. If I'm okay, it says that I'm live. Hey everyone. Um, how are we today? I am really looking forward to talking about subconscious mind, because I don't know, I guess when I was diagnosed with cancer, 5 years ago now, I learned the power of the subconscious mind. And I think my subconscious mind was programmed so negatively, that it really allowed my body to create toxicity and turn on itself and create kidney cancer, which all my doctors said was just really rare and they had never seen it in a woman my age before. So the power of the subconscious mind, man. And I actually didn't go through, I had surgery to have the tumor in half of my kidney removed, but I did not go through chemo and radiation. And I knew that if my body created this cancer, how was I going to uncreate it? And so I took a spiritual journey, and um, I learned to create a lot of things in my life based on reprogramming my subconscious mind. I created a cancer-free body. I've created $1 million business. I exited my marriage and I'm creating this life that I always envisioned for my kids and I. And this all happens through the power of our subconscious mind. And what we don't realize is that we are all pre-programmed, um, and 90% of what we do in our life, it might even be higher, it might even be 94, 95, I'm not exactly sure, but it's definitely over 90% of what we're doing in our lives is on autopilot and is actually through our subconscious mind. And so we really are not creating a life, we are just reacting to it. Does anyone feel like they're just reacting to life and kind of like, oh, well, that sucked, and I guess I just have to deal with this now? If we're constantly feeling behind the eight ball and we're constantly feeling like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, which of course there are periods of life where that happens, but if that's how our whole life feels all the time, we are living from our subconscious mind, and it is pre programmed for you to always be in that constant reactive mode. By the time we're 35, you can read this in Dr. Joe Dispenza's book, Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself. He talks about by the time that we're 35 years old, I'm 41, we are so conditioned that unless we take actual conscious action to change our lives, nothing in our lives will change. Like, we're going to live the life that we are living until we die unless we take actual new action to make it something different. So if you're at a certain income level, you're going to stay there unless you do something to change it, right? Because we are pre-programmed with a money mindset that our energetic set point for what we're earning right now, by the time we're 35, is set. So unless we take new action and work to consciously reprogram our subconscious mind, we're going to stay the same until we die. And I was not okay with that. I did not want my life at 35 to be my life forever. And I have taken massive action, and I'm going to share a little bit about how you can do that in your lives as well. What does that look like? Like, we hear this all the time. How do I reprogram my subconscious mind? How do I change my money mindset? How do I do something new and different? I'm going to share some tangible steps with you today. Because my I guess the biggest thing around changing our subconscious mind is it doesn't happen just once, and it doesn't happen like this. It doesn't happen overnight. It only happens through habit. We change our subconscious mind through habit. So I want you, if you're taking notes, like, actually write this down, because habit, it's persistency and it's consistency. And my money story, for those of you who don't know, was I grew up with a single mom, a dad who did not pay child support. And I watched my mom go in and out of marriages. And when she was married, we had money. Like, I lived in the nice houses, and I went to the amazing schools, and we drove the nice cars. And her marriage would fall apart and she'd get divorced. And we ended up in these shitty apartments on the wrong side of town where we were getting robbed. And I was driving crappy cars to school that I was so embarrassed to be seen in by my friends that I would make her drop me off blocks away. So my money story was around when it's up to men to create wealth. It's up to men to create wealth for women. It's up to men to create money for women. And when we are married, when we have a man in our lives, we have money. And when we are single, I'm a single mom now, we are broke. That was my money story. That's how I grew up. And regardless of my mom telling me to be this independent woman, I watched her pattern of having money with men and then not having money when she was on her own. And that became my belief. That's how my subconscious mind was programmed around money. So, what do you think that I did? I went and I chose a partner who was going to create wealth for me. Only then he didn't create anything for me. We had a comfortable life and it was amazing, but there was no wealth coming. And I was comfortable with $8,000 coming in a month through our combined income. I was a part-time executive director of a not-for-profit organization, staying home with my babies. He worked in corporate, earning a decent salary, and that was where we were at, right? So my subconscious mind when I started my business was programmed for money to be earning around $2,500 to $5,000 a month. That's where my money mindset sat. That was comfortable for me. Did it give me things in my life that I wanted? Yes. Did it give me everything that I wanted? Did it create true wealth for me? No, but I was comfortable with that amount of money coming in. Had I tried to build $1 million business in my first year, it never would have happened because my energetic set point, my vibrational frequency for money, my subconscious mind was not programmed to have $80,000 a month coming in. There's no fucking way I could have ever created that. And if I did, I wouldn't have believed it. I wouldn't have known what to do with it. I wouldn't have been able to handle it. I would have sabotaged the absolute hell out of it. And so to get to $1 million business, have had to work every single day, week, month to reprogram my subconscious mind around money so that I do not teach building a six-figure business overnight. I do not teach scaling to a multiple six-figure business overnight because it's not possible. Well, it's not possible. We have to slowly work through taking physical action that becomes habit so that we can like slowly change our energetic set point for money and constantly have these new goals. So I was at like $2,500 a month was my very first business goal. And I was like, oh my God, how am I ever going to earn $2,500 a month in my business? So I jumped in. It took me a while. I got there. And then I was like, okay, I can do this. So how do I get to $5,000 a month? And I had to work again to get there. And I got to $5,000 a month and I was like, wow, this is amazing. And I sat there for a while and I was like, how do I get to $10,000 a month? Got to $10,000 a month. So I built really slowly through habit and through repetition. And I had to constantly work around it is not up to men to create wealth for women. We can create wealth ourselves. And now my belief and my faith and my desire and my purpose and my mission to create wealth for my family through impact has manifested into reality. Okay. So, what are the steps then that we have to take to start reprogramming our subconscious mind? Can you guys hear me okay? Can you just give me like a hey, what's up? I hear you. I'm here. I'm on my laptop again and I never can tell because it's like you can't see comments. It's super weird. Oh yeah, we're here. Cindy, hi. Thank you. Erica says yes. Okay, perfect. Awesome. Um, okay, so the first part is awareness. I had to become aware that my brain was saying, why the hell is my husband not earning all this money? Why are we not creating wealth? Why are we stuck in this like same kind of situation? Thanks, Kate. I had to become aware of what my story was. What is my story? What is your story around money? Usually our energetic set point is either where we are earning money in our corporate career. Okay, maybe some of you are already earning six figures in your corporate career. That's probably your energetic set point, and or where your spouse or your partner or the primary breadwinner in your family. It might even be your parents, right? I had a big stop, like a big block when I was about ready to pass my parents' income. Like nobody in my family had ever earned $30,000 a month. So for me to get to $30,000 a month, that was a big deal. I had to really bust out of like all my glass ceilings, right? So that's where your energetic set point is, awareness. Understand where you feel comfortable with money coming in and what your story is about money. What's your story about money, right? What is it? What's holding you back? The second part is to have a desire. We cannot have hang on, actually I want to read you this part really quick. So when we talk about awareness and when we talk about thought, this really stands out to me. This is from Think and Grow Rich, one of my favorite books. I read it at least once or twice a year. Everything which, it says man, but I'm changing this to woman. Everything which she creates begins in the form of a thought impulse. Okay? Women can create nothing which she does not first conceive in thought. Through the aid of imagination, through impulses, they assemble into plans. The imagination, when under control, this is where we learn to control our subconscious mind, will be used for the creation of plans or purposes that then lead to success in one's chosen occupation. Okay? So that basically is saying we have to turn our awareness and our thought into a desire. And when we have the desire, that is where emotion comes into play. Thoughts only become things when we have emotion, all right? Thoughts only have any action influence. This is the most important part, you guys. Thoughts only have action influence on the subconscious mind when they are emotionalized. So, this is why when people are saying things like I am affirmations, which do work, but if we're just sitting here reading them like, I am wealthy, I am rich, I am creating $1 million business, that does fuck all. Like, it doesn't do anything. We have to feel emotion. And I am someone who I can't feel emotion unless I'm actually like visualizing. So for me, just saying affirmations like that does nothing. I have to visualize myself. So awareness, one, desire, two, bringing the emotion, three. All right. Our minds are naturally programmed, our subconscious minds are naturally programmed that negative emotions will voluntarily implant themselves. So we have to work to change them to positives. We have to work to change that to a positive feeling, right? So when I say emotion, so we have thoughts, we want to change the thought that requires emotion. If we don't take action to change this emotion, it's automatically going to be negative. So we have to work to change it to a positive emotion. Does that make sense? Hi, Jenny. Hi, Kate. So nice to have you all here. So how do we do that? That was the hardest part for me. Like, I can't just say a bunch of I am affirmations. It doesn't work for me. So what I do is anytime I'm feeling a negative thought come in, this is how you can start to reprogram your subconscious mind and change your beliefs on money, okay, and on wealth and how wealth comes to you. So if I have a negative thought come in, let's say, for example, in the beginning of my business, when I was like $2,500 a month, I would be like, how the fuck am I going to earn $2,500 a month? That is so much money to bring in my business where I've never had a client before. How it's never going to happen. It's going to be so hard. I'm never going to get there. That's where my mind naturally goes. Whose mind naturally goes like that? If your mind naturally goes to like the negative, you're normal because all of our minds are programmed that way, right? They're programmed that way. So we have to work through habit and repetition to change that to an emotional thought. So how would I do that? I would immediately flip to the opposite of what I was thinking. So I'm sitting here thinking, oh my God, $2,500. That's so much money. How am I ever going to earn that in my business? I've never had a paid client. I'm not going to stew on that. I'm going to flip it around. I'm going to catch my awareness. I'm going to tap back into my desire and I'm going to flip that around and I'm going to actually start saying to myself, you know what? I have the potential, I have the smarts, I have the drive, I have the mission, I have the purpose to create a multiple six-figure business, $1 million business. Money comes easily to me. Clients are going to find me because the work that I do is important and it's valuable and it's life-changing. And these women are going to come to me and I'm going to help them change their lives and they're going to pay me beautiful money for my transformation. And $2,500 a month, that is nothing. I'm going to earn $8,000 a month, $10,000 a month. I trust that this is coming to me. Money comes to me easily. Money comes to me effortlessly. I have the power to be one of those women that earns a multiple six-figure salary. There is nothing that separates me from them. I have the purpose. I have the desire. I'm creating the plan. I'm not going to fail. I'm going to get up every single day and I'm going to work towards this, right? Do you see the emotion that starts to come? All of a sudden, I'm not worried about not making $2,500. I'm excited about the opportunity and the possibility of making $10,000 a month. So you flip the thought around. You flip the thought around and go on a rampage. Go on a mini rampage. That's how I do all my things. By the end of this year, I'm going to earn over $1 million in my business, and I'm going to take home $800,000 of that. That is going to be through helping women transform their soulful businesses, and I am going to help women to have the impact that they know they're destined to have. And we're going to build global businesses. We're visionaries, we're creatives, we are the leaders, the forefront runners of this industry, and we are helping to heal and raise the consciousness of this planet, right? And through that, I am going to buy a mountain house that I've always wanted, and I'm going to hold retreats there, and women are going to come from all over, and they're going to learn how to create financial freedom for themselves while having an impact through living their purpose. Do you see how I start to go down the rampage and change my thoughts? So that is how I start to flip it, and that is through habit. It doesn't just happen once, it's not going to work. It's through habit and repetition. Okay. Hi Rachel, hi Neve, so good to have you all here. The second, our subconscious minds are most easily reprogrammable. Reprogrammable? Wait, is that a word? Reprogrammable? Anyway, you know what I mean. Our subconscious minds are easiest to reprogram when we are in, I forget what wave it is, but when we're about ready to fall asleep, we're not awake, but we're not asleep. We're in that in between stage. That's where our minds are the most easy to change and reprogram that subconscious mind. So the and our subconscious thoughts. So along with what I was talking about before, just around the rampage and the changing the negative to the positive, I also listened. I don't do this as much anymore, but in the beginning, for the first 3 years of my business, while I was really trying so hard to shift my money mindset and really grow my business, I listened to I am affirmations on YouTube um, while I was falling asleep. So I would put in my headphones and I would fall asleep to them, and then I might wake up an hour or 2 hours later and go to the bathroom and take them out and then go back to sleep. But your mind is the most programmable in that meditative state. So you can either do this consciously, like every day. Let's say you take aside 15, 20 minutes, lie down somewhere, just pop those into your ear. Google I am affirmations around money on YouTube. There's a ton of them that come up. I love Power Thoughts Meditation Club. And just go into that zone. And I did that literally every day, almost twice a day. And that's a real powerful way for you to not have to work so hard to change your subconscious mind. So you can work hard through flipping that thought, and then you can also help your subconscious mind to change through just popping those I am affirmations into your headphones and listening to those for 15, 20 minutes a day while you fall asleep or while you're taking a power nap or whatever. The other part that I wanted to say about that was, again, this doesn't happen overnight, and it takes faith, a belief in yourself, persistence, and habit. All right, so we've got the desire, which creates the emotion. The emotion, we then have to go persistence, use our persistency and our resiliency. And that's really going to be what shifts all of this for us. So I hope that this was helpful. This has been such a fun one. You can use your subconscious mind to reprogram everything. Like, I first did it with my health, and once I saw that I have control of what happens in my body through uncreating cancer, I knew I could apply that to other areas of my life. And so I started applying it to money. And y'all, I had the worst money mindset. Like, when anyone would ask me to borrow money 6 years ago, I would be like, either no, or I'd write down the exact amount. I was that person who chased up like $2 fucking. I was a person who looked for like sales and bargains and deals all the time. I started from negative money mindset. And I have grown now to where money is no issue. Like last month, we had over a $70,000 month in January. It's just not a thing anymore. And I've had to work hard to get here. If what I'm saying is if I can do this, starting from literally a negative, craziest lack mindset, anyone can. You can too. It's through through persistence and through taking new action every single day, along with working to reprogram what's happening up here. Okay? I'm gonna stop rambling now because I love talking about this stuff. And if you have any questions, let me know. I'm going to continue on with this money stuff because I feel like it's so valuable. And I love money because I think money is an incredible spiritual teacher. And literally, how we do money in our life is how we do everything. And the reason why I teach money and women, financial empowerment through women and through living your purpose is because I've seen what has happened in my life when I really stepped into my own power and when I really became financially independent and financially free. Everything in my life changed, and I was so much more powerful as a leader and as a healer and as a business owner and as a coach, and I could do my craft so much more powerfully when I knew that I was supported and I wasn't spending so much energy every month thinking, how the fuck am I going to pay my bills? Okay. And that is why I do what I do. I love you all. I will see you next week. If you have any questions, just pop them in the comment. If you watch the replay, let us know that you're here. And I'll see you all live next week. I'll talk to you soon. I love you all. Mwah.